I like to break down the way an engine is connected to the rest of the car into 4 groups. You have your electrical connections, your liquid flow connections, your gas flow connections, and then your mechanical connections. And I'm going to have to make sure I cover all 4 before I can pull this engine out of my WRX. That did not sound good. I recently did a lot of cleaning in my garage. As you can see, I can now fit 2 cars in here. It's still a bit crowded on the walls, but I did all of this mainly so that I could pull the engine out of this and do some maintenance. And I got sidetracked with some other projects, but the time has finally come to dig into this bad boy. I got this 2016 WRX from a Copart auction, and there are some things I'm certain the engine needs, and other things that would just be easier to do with the engine out. So I decided to pull it. So I'm going to drain the fluid because I do have to disconnect all the coolant lines. The radiator drain is right here, and I think there's a straight shot, so I'm not going to make a mess. It's not bad. A little bit of splashing, but yeah, pretty much a straight shot. I'm going to remove the battery. Upper radiator hose. Coolant is still draining. Take that off. Pop this off. Ah! Let's see. It's still draining, but let's see how much comes out of this lower radiator hose. Way more. Well, now I know where a lot of the coolant's gonna come from when I take an FA engine apart. Might as well take off the skid plate while I'm down here. And this is one of the radiator fan connectors here. Yeah. And the same thing over here. Now I think the radiator will be free now. So I'm gonna take off the bolts holding down the radiator mount. I'm gonna take off the serpentine belt because I'm gonna set the AC aside. In this tensioner, you can release the tension like this, take it off one pulley, and then you can relax it. So I'm gonna set this aside. This whole harness needs to get disconnected because it stays with the fuse box. Press down right here, pull that out. And this connector right here, let's see, do I press on that tab and pull? There we go. And I'm going to take that off with what looks like a 12mm socket. Let's see, will that allow all of this to be freed? 1, 2, this little thing goes to the AC. Little tab. So that whole harness is free. And it looks like the AC compressor is held in by a big bolt there, and one right there. And it's also attached to this bracket. These are 10mm, and I think that can be removed with a 14. There's one right here. Or I can just leave it like that. It rotated out of the way as I was trying to take it off. And being as that I don't think it needs to be taken off or anything else, I'm just gonna leave it. So I thought that was it. 1, 2, 3. Is there a 4th spot? Yeah, there is a 4th one. It's right here up underneath it. Let's see. Okay, so now this will be out of the way. Then there's this connector that comes up, at least I think it comes up, Yeah. And then freeze it. That was the gas line. Thankfully, these cars sat long enough for there to be no pressure. This can be set out of the way, and this line as well. The fuel lines are now disconnected. So the intercooler is also coming off. And I'm loosening the hose clamps with an 8mm. This hose to the brake booster comes off. And I don't know what this is, but this side goes to the engine and that side goes to the transmission. So I'm going to see what I gotta do to take it off. After fiddling for a little bit, there's a little tab under here that I can press up on, and that will free it. This has been off before because that's broken. Yeah, I can't get a finger in there. So I had to squeeze this down with this screwdriver enough that it released and I could separate them. So now it's separated. And I imagine could have left this on the bracket, but sometimes the bracket locks it in as well. But it doesn't look like it does in this case. So plugging it in will be easier. I'll leave it like that. I don't know, that could get hung on something. Let me tuck it under here safely. Take off the blow-off valve. It can stay with the engine, but I gotta get to the computer below it. My old friend, the MAF sensor, and the intake box. This is the lower part of the intake. All right, let's see, is there oil in here still? And a lot of oil. What in the world? Intake should be free. And a couple of these are attached to the engine. There's a little tab right in the middle. Press in and that releases it. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe I'll take a picture of it. It's right there, right there. So this one and this one go to the engine, and I just freed them from this collar, sleeve, whatever you want to call this clamp, so they can be with the engine. And these hoses go to the heater core, and I'm going to verbally give myself a reminder that they cross over. The one that comes out of the firewall on the left goes into the right, and vice versa. So I'm thinking everything up top that needs to be disconnected is disconnected. There's no harness going to it, nothing over here, nothing in the front. The AC is disconnected and set aside, nothing going from the block to the heater core. Let's go underneath. There's a ground strap right here that I'm gonna go ahead and take off. And I'm going to disconnect the cat from the rest of the exhaust right here. There's also this ground right here on the passenger side. Ugh, maybe I'll disconnect it over here instead, because I didn't mean to bend that bracket. I'll leave this bolt here as a reminder. I gotta bend this bracket back. All right, I'll do that later. Next, I'm going to remove all the bolts and nuts connecting the transmission to the engine. So there's one right here, one right there, two more up there, and on the other side, there's one right there, and there is the starter. And it looks like I need an axle. You see that grease splattered all over the place? That's going to get replaced too, eventually. Even though you may not realize it, it is the next day, and I'm going to take the starter off. So there's a nut here that I can't see, but I believe is a 10mm. I'm gonna remove this with a 12mm socket. I'm accessing it from below, and it's actually a 12mm that will remove it. Why do these bend? Well, I'll just take off that one. So let's see. This is a 14 mm. Yay. Okay, that's a long bolt. I'm gonna wipe off some of this grease just so I don't get so filthy. This nut could probably be accessed from above, but let's see if I can get it from down here. And I can. Technologia. Damn. All right, I'm gonna need some more leverage. Here we go. A little bit more leverage. There we go. So I'm gonna crack them all before I back them all out. I'm gonna go over here and do the one on the starter. So the starter is free. Oh, there's one more connector on the starter that I had to remove. It's a spade connector. It was on there. So now I'm just gonna back out the rest of them. There's one more way up top that probably could be accessed from above, but since I have such good angle for leverage down here, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and knock it out. Last one, I think. And I'm pretty sure this is an engine mount nut right here. There should be one of these on each side. So I think it's separation time. So I'm gonna see if I can free this. All right, so that's not gonna hang us up. I'm gonna need more space. I'm gonna see if I can just disconnect the hood struts and push the hood back farther. There we go. All right, let's see. Yeah, that should be enough room for the engine hoist, but I gotta get it to stay up. I don't want it to fall down on me. So I attached a bungee cord from there to my shelf so that it won't fall on me. That makes me feel a lot better, and it saves me from having to take the hood off and find somewhere to store it. I was looking up how to remove the engine, and check this out. I could have actually moved the struts from here to here, and that would hold the hood up in this position. That's clever. That makes a lot of sense. If I ever do it again, I'll do that. I'm not gonna undo it now, but that's pretty cool. After consulting the manual, I saw that this was used to lift it. I knew this was a lift point, but I took it out to get the AC off. And I think, do you go right there? So I'm gonna reconnect it, even though it's not gonna mount the same way that it was before. So I think this is gonna help me a lot. So this is what I came up with. The old big chains, clevis hook to the chains on this side, and then the clevis through the lift point with the chains going through it because the chain won't fit through. So I think we have a plan. Scratch that. I decided to use a bolt instead because even though it was unlikely, one of these links could twist in just the right way and barely make it through the clevis. So let's give this a shot. I can go a little tighter. See if I can wedge away from the transmission. I see what's happening. I want to make sure it gets separated fully because this was hitting on that. Even though I got good separation up top, I don't know if the camera can get this, I'm still hung up on the studs on the bottom. So I think once I separate the lower section, the engine will be hanging free and I can hoist it out. I almost got it. And the breakthrough was when, instead of prying between the transmission and the block, I tried to move the engine away from the transmission by prying between the header and the cross member, and that freed it because it was hard to get in between the transmission and the block, but it was almost separated, almost done. But I think I just got it off the last stud. All right, I think I got everything free now. And I do. Let's go. Just hoping I can get it high enough. And I've just got it high enough. All these chains. It is a tight fit, but I think I'll be able to get it snug enough because there's a little void area on the pressure plate where the heads of these bolts can go. So here's the empty engine bay, and I am very happy to report that I had no electrical casualties. Only this bracket dented when I was pulling it up without having the transmission and block fully separated. So that's my first time pulling a WRX engine, Subaru engine for that matter, be it EJ or FA. And I must say it wasn't that bad, because in most front wheel drive cars you take out the engine and the transmission together, but since this is an all-wheel drive with a more rear-wheel drive layout, it wasn't that bad. Next up for this engine is at least valve stem seals, likely timing cover, and who knows what else. If you'd like to follow along, hit subscribe. If you would like to see the things I've already done to this WRX, check out the playlist. Thanks for watching. Take care.